Here's a big question. Are testimonials outdated? The short answer is no. The long answer is if you're still posting testimonials with just text and a name, then we need to level up your testimonial game. My name is Amelia Lujan. This is another episode of Mindful Marketing. After working with over 200 brands and analyzing their brand presence and optimizing it, one of the biggest questions that I get is, how do I use testimonials to get better conversions and more sales through our campaigns? Short of the long is that every time we run a campaign or post content where there's a testimonial with just text and a name, it gets very low engagement and very low traction. Why? Because more and more consumers are demanding more transparency. There's so many people out there that are faking testimonials, and this is a really big problem because brands are not being transparent about the results that they really provide. So people opt into a product or a service that they think is phenomenal because of all of the testimonials that are on the page. Come to find out, the product or service is not that good anyway. Patient testimonials are extremely effective because they help create a genuine connection between your product and service and the person that is prospecting your services based on their pain, their struggle, and what they're looking to resolve. So having genuine testimonials that talk about the problem that's being solved is crucial to get that other person to feel like they identify with the problems that you've helped other people resolve. Collecting testimonials can be quite challenging, specifically because being in the medical field, people don't really want to talk about the issues that they have, especially if it's medical related. So there's a bit of a gray area there. Nonetheless, there's ways around it. Sometimes there's patients that are so ecstatic about the results that you can create for them. And in that moment, you should ask them, are you open to giving us a testimonial about the problem that we solved for you? Nonetheless, a lot of times medical professionals work on internal issues that people are facing, and it's not very easy to show before and after photos unless you're working with maybe weight loss or surgery or any other modality that helps support the physical body. In the case that the person doesn't want to share their identity, there's voice recordings that can be utilized to still show the person expressing the benefit that was provided for them. And of course, on the testimonial page, you can explain that you're a facility that respects your patient's privacy. And although not everybody wants to share their success stories, here are some people that were willing to share their results with you. And that can easily be recorded using audio. The voice can be slightly altered if the person still doesn't feel comfortable. Nonetheless, a person should always give their consent if they are using testimonials. So even if a person is willing to provide you with a written testimonial, which sometimes that's easier, then if they're able to include a photo, if they're open to sharing their identity, then that's definitely going to benefit you. Some questions you want to ask your patients are, what brought you to our practice? And although they might not want to talk about the disease that they have, they can talk about their symptoms, fatigue, imbalance, loss of sleep, loss of hair, and so on. Another question is, how did our services support you? And of course, the person can talk about their blood labs and how the before and after affected and impacted their day-to-day without, of course, divulging maybe the disease or the illness that they were addressing with you if that's something that they don't feel comfortable with sharing. Another question is, what made your experience unique? You want to be able to highlight the success and what separates you from your competitors, because maybe that other person worked with a conventional doctor and that conventional doctor looked at their blood labs and said, you know what, you're perfect. I don't know what you're talking about. It's probably in your head. This happens a lot. And then they go to you, an alternative doctor, an alternative medical practitioner, and they see the results that they're looking for because you are treating them in a holistic way. The last question that you want to ask them is, if a friend or a family were to have the same issue, would you recommend them to our practice? And you want to make sure that they're able to say, yes, I highly recommend anyone that's facing the similar imbalances to come to this practice. Lastly, where do you want to use your patient testimonials for maximum impact? Naturally, you want to put them on your website. Of course, everybody's going to go to your website to discover what you do, what services you provide. provide and your values and the success that you have provided others. Other creative places to input these testimonials are if a prospect schedules for a consultation and they have not yet become a patient, then of course you want to have automated systems with SMS and email nurture sequences to help that person make the decision to come to your practice and become a patient of yours. So even within that nurture sequence, you're able to put little excerpts of what other patient success stories have been with a link to your testimonial page with the audios, the videos, the photos that you can share about the patients that have had phenomenal success with you. Another creative way to use testimonials is on your social media, of course. You can do a carousel compiling all of the different testimonials. Now Instagram allows you to do carousels with videos, with audios, with music. So get creative with it to make sure that it's engaging and it's not just text page to page to page. Another way that you could use your testimonials is on your stories. You are, let's say, highlighting a specific treatment that day and you want to insert testimonials in your story that corroborate the success of that treatment. Lastly, let's say you've had hundreds of patients. Those are hundreds of opportunities for you to showcase the work that you do. A lot of times doctors come to me and they tell me, well, I don't really have time to ask my patients for testimonials. And I get it. If you've had already 200 and you're 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 and you're continuously growing your practice, it could be very challenging to go back and ask all of these people for testimonials unless they're a consistent patient of yours. Then definitely have your front desk people support you with making a list. You can have a piece of paper on your desk asking patients to provide a testimonial as it supports you in your growth. And you want to include a QR code maybe to your Google reviews. If someone is reviewing you on Google, there are widgets, there is code that you can place on your website to extract those Google reviews. Google reviews are very credible because they are coming directly from Google and people can see that they're real people that are commenting. Nonetheless, if you take that testimonial, that written testimonial, and then you copy and paste it onto your website, it's not going to look very credible because there's not a big entity like Google behind saying that these testimonials are legitimate. In conclusion, these are some ways that you can get your patients to engage with you and support you in growing your practice by sharing their success stories. Again, patient testimonials aren't just stories. You want to make sure that you build that genuine connection with your patients and make sure that when success takes place for your patients and they're seeing the results, make sure to catch them when they're excited. Make sure to catch them when they're feeling really, really good about the results that you're providing them. Because in that moment, they're easily able to say, you know what? You've helped me so much. I want to help you too. And this is how you also build meaningful relationships with your people. So they're not just a patient that's coming to see you. They turn into an advocate of yours. So incentivizing your patients to share with their friends, leave testimonials. Let's say you're a med spa and you offer beauty services, you can offer discounts for other services that you provide, having patients come back, referring their friends, leaving testimonials for points. So there are complex systems that can be utilized for these purposes. We use some like apps and our CRM system, which is phenomenal. Nonetheless, if you're using something a little more basic, then having a QR code with an A-frame, asking the patient for their testimonial with a link to your Google. There's also other tools out there where they can easily do an audio, a video, or a written testimonial. You can select the options that you prefer. My recommendation is video and audio are the best unless it's going to be on Google. Google is acceptable for people to do written testimonials. It's a credible application in which people are reviewing. These are the tips for the day. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Please check out our other content for mindful marketing so that you can learn how to elevate your practice and attract more patients into your facility.